बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम व्यूअर्स, इस वक्त मैं एक फ्लशिंग कैसीना बिलवर्ड के एरिया में हूँ जहाँ पर एज़ यू नो कि ये मेन स्ट्रीट है, डाइवर्स कम्युनिटीज़ हैं और बिजनेसेस हैं एशियन अमेरिकन के, स्पेशली चाइनीज़ अमेरिकन, ताइवानीज़ अमेरिकन, नेपालीज़ अमेरिकन, कोरियन अमेरिकन के ह्यूज बिजनेस ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट 20. And I'm really honored that from this district 20, Taiwanese American Mr. Ching Pai is going to fight for the race of as a city council from district 20, and I'm honored that he's with me and giving his precious time to me. Welcome to Global TV and DUNYA International. Please tell us about yourself first, and then we'll go further.
Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Manzoor and the Global TV. And thank you for the Muslim community that's listening and watching. Yeah, my name is Ching Pai, born in Taiwan, came to this country 40 years ago when I was 8 years old. Yeah, and I see my friends' families working in the sweatshop. My parents works in the restaurant, trying to put food on the table for me, my sister, and my brother.
As you know, there are other candidates in this race, which is coming on 2nd of November. There are certain other councilmen. There are the race of mayoral races there on 2nd November, and there'll be a lot of other political candidates who are fielded in this race. Why you participated or jumped in this race for better for your community, or can you explain to me, please?
Sure. Yeah, the reason I jump into this race is because of what I have seen, and many people in this community have feel. Obviously, right now the streets are not safe, so my biggest issue here right now is community safety. Now, if we have community safety, then we can walk down the street and go grocery shopping. Now, we can take the subway to work, and we can walk in the park with our loved ones. Now, second of all is our quality education. Obviously, if we don't have a quality education, we cannot compete in the next generation. Now, there are still high school students, I've spoken to, still having difficulties doing multiplication, division, adding and subtraction. So we need better paying teachers to help lift our students. Third is our small businesses. Due to this pandemic, our small businesses got hurt so much. The lockdown took longer than expected. Obviously, think about the policies like reopening 20%, 40%, 60%, really prolong the lockdown. Small business have bills to pay too. They have mortgage to pay, car payments, kids after school program. Now, final issue would be affordable housing. For the past 12 years, we have seen Flushing grow tremendously, and many luxurious high-rises. But the average people gotten left out. So we need more affordable housing and housing for the seniors.
In your manifesto, you said that if you will be elected on November 2nd, you'll fund public project while sitting in the city council, right. And you also said you will try to remove this tapism in the official circle. So how it is possible? Can you explain to me, please?
Well, obviously we have to understand. There are many areas and programs like public safety. Now, if we're gonna continue to defund the police and then waste millions of dollars on elsewhere, that doesn't quite make sense. So we need to continue to fund the police properly. Then we're going to have safer streets. Now, in term of high rises, getting these high rises, many of these high rises, as an accountant, I know they're getting tax abatements, no property tax for 10, 15 years. They're living in there. So why couldn't they, have a section for moderate income and for seniors too? Have them pay the property tax. Why give them abatements?
Pre-COVID area was very easy for the New Yorkers, but the post-COVID area, we have more challenges. If you'll be elected, how you will confront all these challenges? People have a lot of issues, of housing issues. People have health issues, especially health issues. As a city council member, how you will address these challenges, these issues?
Right. That's a very good question. Obviously, during this pandemic, we have seen so much waste. waste on these food, either monies that's been reallocated, properly, not properly, and we have to go to city or reassess and find out exactly, what money can we save and bring back and allocate to the community, like for food, that people that needs food, or PPEs, or help additional funding for the school and things like that. Mhm.
You was talking about the bail reform. So what do you think when you say bail reform? Can you explain to my viewers, please?
Sure. The bail reform actually, a lot of people probably are not aware of that. A bail reform is if a individual committed a crime, something minor, that immediately gets released. Now, without any repercussion from the judges or anybody. So the best thing is we have to revisit bail reform and see how this bail reform will affect the community. But by far, I can tell you, it is affecting the community. Think about it. A mental health individual, hurt an individual, innocent individual on the street, right? And gets catch, and then in 15 minutes he gets released. Think about it. This bail reform doesn't work. We have to revisit it.
You have a huge business district in your area, 20th district. So how, people are really affected, the small businesses are really affected by this COVID pandemic. How you will address and how you will help your own community, which have a huge business district in this Queens area?
Right, and clearly we have seen policies like the busway, Now, we have to deal with the pandemic already, and then we have to deal with this busway. Now, the busway, we have to come back and reevaluate it too. This is something like 5 years ago, they did a survey on it. They're executing it right now. Look at what's happening with the busway. You're not bringing business back here. You're actually squeezing business out of Flushing, And meanwhile, the people down here still paying the same level of property taxes. And when you start driving businesses away, you're not going to hire as many people as you needed. So we have to revisit it. And second of all, we get ticketed by taking the wrong turn. Better yet, I'm going to voice people's in the community, what they're telling me is the ticketing money should come back to this community. So this is what I'm going to be advocating.
Mr. Pai, what do you think when you see a lot of people, Pakistani Americans, Taiwanese Americans, Chinese Americans, Korean Americans, they lose jobs during this pandemic? What do you think when you saw all these things?
Yeah, actually, as an immigrant myself, it hurts me to see what's going on. And obviously, because most of them are not skilled workers. So one of my biggest I'm going to be advocating is better training programs. We have many community centers. We have many non-for-profits, which they don't pay income tax, property tax. We should have programs to uplift new immigrants, give them better training, and then get them more involved on the Main Street work. So that's what I'm going to be advocating.
So, Mr. Pai, when we during the last regime of era of Mr. Trump, President Trump, we saw the rise in Haitian hate crimes. Mm-hmm. How you foresee all these things?
Yeah, obviously, this is that's a very good question, but this is more like a national sort of question. But obviously, with Trump's words, sometimes it can be very sensitive. But I would suggest and say putting parties on the side and obviously pick the right candidate. Obviously, Mr. Trump has his own policy and agenda, which things work and things might not work. But this is history will tell, and we'll keep it to the general public's opinions. Yeah.
Mr. Pai, we are really happy that a large Muslim coalition is backing you in this incoming election, especially people like Mr. Imtiaz Anwar, Brother Anwar. They are with you, they are supporting you, helping you in a shape of a Muslim American coalition. What do you think about Muslim Americans' participation in American fabric?
obviously the Muslim population, just like our any other Asian populations, actually we need to voice our voice, and the way we're gonna raise our voice is reflected on our votes. We're not participating enough in the voting process. A lot of my small business customers would end up tell me like, you know what, I need to go to work. I don't have time to go voting, but I want to tell my not just Muslim community or our Asian community, your vote on your hands will have an impact on this generation and your next. Participate in the local election is very important.
Any specific message because your district is huge, populated of Asian Americans, diverse community, you have any specific message for 2nd of November's election, incoming election?
Absolutely. Obviously, we have a current councilman which held this seat for the past 12 years and did an exceptional great job. Now, why this election is so important is once this seat is occupied, we need somebody to bring us out, number one, from the pandemic. Okay. Number two, safer streets. And then fight for better education and affordable housing. Now, it's very important for our community to know that this individual is not going to be working for the party. I am going to be working for the people. I have no political background, no political backings, and no endorsement. The only endorsement is the community, the Muslim community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ching Pai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Viewers, thank you very much again. आपने देखा कि मिस्टर यू चिंग पाई डिस्ट्रिक्ट 20th से एशियन अमेरिकन हैं. एशिया के जब नाम लिया जाए तो इसमें बहुत सी कौमियत हैं. पाकिस्तानी हैं, नेपाली हैं, बांग्लादेशी हैं, चाइनीज़ हैं, कोरियंस हैं. एशिया का पूरा एक खित्ता है, बर आज़म है. उससे क्वींस जैसे जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट 20th है, जिसमें स्पेसिफ़िकली मैं आप यहाँ पे जो मेन स्ट्रीट है, कसेना बुलेवार्ड है, इससे गर्दनवा के इलाके हैं, वहाँ से और भी बहुत से कैंडिडेट फील्डेड हैं इस जो 2 नवंबर को होने वाले इलेक्शन. मिस्टर यू चिंग पाई भी वन ऑफ देम. और मुझे उम्मीद है कि पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन्स जो मेरा प्रोग्राम देखेंगे, एशियन अमेरिकन्स, बांग्लादेशी अमेरिकन्स, जितने भी हमारे लोकल अमेरिकन्स भी देखेंगे, वो 2 नवंबर को सिर्फ इनको इसलिए वोट की ताकत से कामयाब बनाएंगे क्योंकि मैं समझता हूँ बीइंग अ जर्नलिस्ट, अगर हम आज अपनी इस वोट की ताकत को इस्तेमाल नहीं करेंगे तो जो हमारी जनरेशन यहाँ पे पैदा हुई है, जो सेकंड जनरेशन है और जो वो रेज़ हो रही है, यहाँ पे बोर्न हो रही है, वो अपना राइट अमेरिका जैसे मुल्क में नहीं ले सकेगी. इसलिए आप सबको 2 नवंबर को इलेक्शन में पार्टिसिपेट करना होगा और एशियन अमेरिकन होने के नाते मिस्टर यू चिंग पाई को कामयाब करना होगा ताकि जब ये सिटी काउंसिल में पहुँचें तो ये अपने एशियन बहन भाइयों को याद रखें. कैमरामैन प्रोड्यूसर अब्दुल समद खान के साथ मंजूर हुसैन, ग्लोबल टीवी, कैसेना बुलेवार्ड, फ्लशिंग, न्यूयॉर्क.